are you doing in my swamp?
Hello everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for the 2000 movie, An Extremely Goofy Movie. So in this movie, Max, PJ, and Bobby are headed off to college, and shortly after arriving in college, Goofy loses his job, so he decides to attend the same school as Max, and they're having to deal with the father-son issues kind of all over again. And everything. Max is wanting to get away from his dad, and his dad is smothering him and everything. So he's trying to figure out how to get away from his dad. So he hooks him up with the rival skateboarding team that's going against him in the X Games and stuff. And that also messes with their relationship, and it gets a little crazy and dramatic, but everything comes together in the end. So this movie is okay. I'm not as big on this one as I am the original Goofy movie and everything. It was one I really loved as a kid. I used to watch this movie on repeat when it first came out and everything. I had a thing for sequels as a kid too. Also, I had an obsession with sequels, and this was one of those movies that I always really wanted them to do a sequel to a Goofy movie, and when they made it, I was really, really impressed with it. I really liked it. It also is part of what got me into 70s music as well, I guess you could say. This and the Brady Bunch and watching stuff from back in the 70s, because that was on TV. They were on TV a lot, but this movie has a pretty good 70s soundtrack and everything. They are really going for a retro vibe for it and everything, and I think it works pretty good. I think the movie is pretty funny. Goofy gets himself into a lot of silly situations, but he also knows how to bust some moves when they do the shake your groove thing scene at the disco. That's one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And everything is probably the highlight of the movie is that disco scene, watching Goofy and her dance. It's just a lot of fun and everything. And that song is just so freaking catchy and everything. But there's also some other really good moments too, and stuff when Goofy's dealing with Max leaving and having a hard time going through a depression and stuff. They do a good job with that, and also, but they also do a good job at keeping it serious when it needs to be, just like with the first Goofy movie. Although I felt like they were a little bit more serious with it than they should have been. It was a little bit too serious and everything. It wasn't enough Goofy and everything, and I wanted more of that. And also, I didn't like that they chose not to make this a musical and just use musical numbers to elevate scenes and stuff, because I think it didn't work as well as having the musical numbers like the first one did. That was one of the things that made the first one so good, was its musical numbers, and this one I wish would have had them too and stuff. And I also wish that Roxanne would have had some kind of part in this, although realistically it makes sense that Max isn't going to be with the same girl he was with in middle school that he is with in college and stuff, and he's single throughout this movie. Stuff. I did think it was cool that PJ got a love interest that both Max and Bobby did in a Goofy movie and stuff, so I thought that was pretty cool. And it was getting cool just getting to spend more time with those characters too, because they were kind of smaller roles in the first one. PJ was in the first one quite a bit, but Bobby wasn't, so I thought that was kind of cool too. And they brought Pauly Shore back. The voice cast are all once again really great. Bill Farmer and Jason Marsden are once again excellent as Goofy and Max and everything. They fit perfectly. Jim Cummings is great again as Pete, although Pete is really sidelined in this movie. And then you got Brad Garrett joining the cast as one of the Gammas or whatever, and he's pretty good. All of the other voice actors are good too. Bradley Uppercross III is a pretty good villain. He's not a very likable character, but they do a good job making him not a likable character. And I just think this movie is okay. Like I said, the animation is not very good either. It's not near as good as it was in the first one. And the first one was a low-budget animated movie, so if that one is low budget and this one looks worse, you know that this one had to have an even lower budget and everything. It doesn't hold up near as good as the first one does. But that being said, I think that this, all in all, is a pretty decent time and everything. Like, I can enjoy watching it when I do watch it, but it's not one that I revisit very often. And a lot of times if I rewatch the first one, I'll just watch it by itself and everything. But every once in a blue moon, I'll pop this one in, and it's okay it's an okay time. So I give An Extremely Goofy Movie a 7 out of 10. It's okay. It's not near as good as the first one, but it's not a complete horrible movie either. Like I said, there are a lot of good things, especially the dynamic between Goofy and Max. I just wish that there was a little bit more of that and everything, that they could have done more with it and everything, but also understand they were trying to do it differently than the first one, so I guess it makes sense. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of An Extremely Goofy Movie, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.